When there was point shut off, I wasn't last. Like, was it taken out because that moved?
Probably the method is of stopping a program from certain having a link. We don't know task. We don't know that minds that come in is we act come from not taking all that planet forward. In order to learn all kinds of computers, telling them to move their eye, walk, and how to just like you can throw school, and you don't read all kinds of things you have to teach you. What we're saying that and like the same circuit from no paths, and therefore when they have certain capacity, like certain trade, certain experience, at certain careers, and those that came up. But this all really, but it really does.
I'm wondering when we're talking somehow from the next level. All of us next level down the tree.
The minds that are
at the next level.
You may be.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, there's a stream or would be.
Well, in other words, we from headquarters, but I think that we thought we had campgrounds, so we let me know. I don't or to be where you especially be in headquarters. Can you understand that? Or to let it in the next level. We think that members would do, and I don't think, and but I don't mean to be a line area. Simply because way operations wouldn't level. It was difficult to communicate what they were doing. And then the level that you're thinking of other backwards, well, I to know all leads that I don't know if I do have some, they're close to her headquarters, like they could communicate, or like I said, what they were doing. In other words, sometimes you may way back when, and you want up for her, and what we do, we don't need another head, or even voice set up, you didn't know that we made, and to buy, just I mean, to save up for it and get a car off. Looking at it, you keep your mouth shut, but I hope I will work. And then remembers, what we do, it doesn't matter if we know why we do it. We do it because we know that matters, and you want to do. Paul and I are going to do something against it some time, but we hope we don't have that again. We don't.
We wouldn't do it. It's our right principle, and we wouldn't unless we would take exception to it. Do it to them. But if you all know what we're talking about, it's a credit card. Scared it to death. Thing that I think to, but understanding that belong to very young, and as your vehicles have been, and for this level of understanding is an understanding intelligence. In other words, they have to everything, and them that are to understand. You next level mind in a lot of, and you bring next level mind into parts of your computer. I'm telling you that understand, it's just a word that it means a lot. In the next level, understand. You aren't looking to something to understand. You want them clear to judge actions. Younger or they're old, have to look at them while they're doing that. That doesn't compute the thought. And that if you're right over from this past society, understand. In order to understand where you are, to understand lower, to add of where you are. And then, of course, there are and you can try to, because the place where they are, instructions that know what they're. I just want you to good words next level might apply in the ways to go to your head.
I was wondering, hangs around with neighbors. I get that very instant to get irritated when a signal hit me. But if that signal triggered by that, the opportunity.
Well, what he thinks, but could think of it in them, even though from in the same to your own vehicle, either to run it off, or you don't do any of those. If your homework and send a signal stops, I feel like know that you're getting has been triggered to me, and that for the entire you were treated, you're getting it only in your homework and your opposite characteristic of your brain. Well, why isn't it doing my homework? It made that duration when you're trying to get rid of, and you can't get rid of it, except that here's to revert them to a positive, and they're back. A time release.
Too, what though? Sometimes may not make you angry. Say, ouch, get angry. Also, the response time that somebody up here is to not get angry. Toe, but after you're there, understand that? And it's happening. It does come to their toe, but they could be to in some way. Or you've got all of these things have of one word they may branch. They're not a that in my mistake. They're just, it's like love and how they're so close, they offer the same role.
Right.
So never hate. They just felt love it. And you wonder, well, obvious why you've ever felt any love. And it's just so it's coming from your strength.
Anytime there's a strong experience of love, involvement being worked out, because it's going to take on those, and you all vision show turn to the other. 1 minute they can hate you, and how many for death bound couldn't stand that, didn't want them doing something, and then you say, well, that, but and you can't. It's to where you're coming to the way and toward well and snaps. The same.
What if I might go back? What experience of doing that, how girls and I understand?
Well, your face painting, and then something, and experience something. I hear again, no matter if you know a little bit about you, a little bit, it's a little different. And so, but you, when they see someone beside and that doesn't really want to sing, that. Or when it's something they say they underlay the attention of what they are saying my need. We see things as saying why they're but when we can and when level mind why at this time, why they do and them, because go through and don't forget it's very hard to get out of. You're really a guy who does and get lucky and as they go through that and they look experiences they're having, you can't understand why they still act. They're trying to learn to their own identity. They can experience, then they're going, I'll try this for you, I'll try this for a great percentage of stream of whatever, and deep ditch and lose some of the serious jail or stop in a setting, and when they recur. And a lot of times they start on a better path. In other words, it's just on the heels. You know, had you not experienced, you've been slow. There's suffering to come, and you don't let yourself, and when you're suffering, to make things as coming every way that causes you. When you're easier to stay or worried about and digging hard for the beast, occupying your thoughts to know the straight and narrow what you're doing. And when everything is, then you're suffering types of suffering. Okay? Things like they are now, when they seem to just sitting anywhere, you know, it comes to you now altogether, and it can't. Believe it or not, or it'll mind so well that when you first to be suffering, and that you take it and bring next level mind, we give you information. Can register, and even in your next level, it's like remember when we talked to you about those, there is and more the pattern it is a task occupying and one that is putting out signals. With that task of awakening. In other words, those two tasks go for the world and to a level mind, but to awaken more, and as you do that, you do and storehouse. Add to your computer there before, or a very unique growth period. This is a freak. You know, it seems, I don't know why ever so often late it goes to time span, and that few years, the opposite vantage point was very sudden, light years away. systems has caused them, others like it. I don't know if you, but when you started and brought them in this, we wish there were solar systems, and it's hard to, but we have no evidence. That's almost like with that solar system that are very...
They made enough where they could, the ability to see. Next level is sin.
Everything is not
What you're doing
in the way of looking into things.
Level is sending, yes, well, under disclosing us down information on, but down, not as gritty. People can't do it. In other words, they can, well, but it's still visual mind. He doesn't know. And so you're out to handle those. If you do not to a respond to something, respond adequately, send it and say, oh, it comes up. It's just that because that's very serious human life. And even though I don't think, but the nation, your actions in good thoughts, and it comes out with that. You don't think the next, but has to come a more hereditary, which don't you agree?
Not the these. Yeah, it doesn't mean that the next to it that there's a ultimate. The next level should be pure. An extreme, any of them could pop, and that's why we respond proper each time you the negative. This is poor. You send back, and there's nothing back. You're capable of sending this time. When that in for my spirit people, we know other than, and yet we great higher stuff ready to receive, literally carry into the from your standpoint last days, because these last days and you use them in the hard last days. And in a sense, it motivates them. They think if even though that's but talking a minute ago, you see a little insight of into that fly on lifetime, because it's lifespan, and it is more that in a moment in the life of a human, weeks or months. Now, lived because everything down. A lot of it, but it's very see when they kingdom, and it seems to be so. I know that they have and with their monitoring because of the time that do I, but they also know anything, and that's where you belong. It was just to you. Doing it for what they feel. As your teachers doesn't make it any easier. I don't think anyone has slowed up any more than we do. Agonize over it because the time is due to move things back. Things that lesson, even because it's lesson, we next them by the speed for that. And the name of the game make it much easier to understand it. If it doesn't help.
We were to help us by that we were asked when we were an example of how emotions and technique are back, teaching and then move along. Right. I was wondering if kind of what means in terms of all growth and that you everything that you're doing at level and patience has that time humans in the process that actually move along in it. Analogy.
Well, I don't know how in the way that I might be wrong. Beings that in the past have it keeps going on, things having the and people and I don't think there in some even way back there was consideration that for intellectuals. That's very, in other words, but they can also behind the scenes. Things happen. It's
I put it wrong with the more primitive ones, like are there two movie tests? Okay, the movie test. Now, if you people were on TV, people in the payments because of fear, or they were nice because they're nice because genuinely to. And that kind of child abuse, things like that, constantly materializes way group like in they're only nice when it's because it would You really haven't liked these lessons.
But it was just talking about where we're at Delgado, where they bring and hear the infant stages for developing the brain. The brain, they have all, don't know anything that we know how to handle her this way. In a sense, very positive. You can say, when I was in, you knew I didn't know that to do it at any level. And I was nice to the people, like, who
I
can,
pretend to be nice.
but when all of these, we're trying to mean how.
Above means all the everything you can work with.
We're in regards to that, you know, and but it is that you, because it's striving, remember, it's trying to end, and that you can take. I could have this way in the right. I got 2 of them. That's 5 out of 5. We're able to handle making headway. Working together on it moves more quickly.
I don't know how many times that negotiate. If we work things out, but if they were yesterday, I think it was, maybe on, and thought, few interviews that you know have to negotiate. And it was like, as for that to reach, it was funny as things on, if I could just write negotiating, and the fact that she has, and I feel like has booked the surface, may not seem much way a garden grows. Little things add up. I want to get Stan Moody because
I'm not just appropriate, like, for Washington, it's been donations that go to people that are, and I think of it, or how humans want to do it, their organs, or that whole
hasn't mastered it. And we certainly know all your organs do good.
I just don't have anything.
Oh
In
no,
other words,
this isn't up and down. But in other words, these thoughts, it's important because that and go by the next level of examine clearly. Further fuse you oftentimes as you think that they from where you when your world, but you sometimes think they have not. There's a to the mind as it enters your brain. That confusion comes in where your vehicle than it was. What we're saying, more mature, bigger. Do you follow what we're the conversation? Would hear them in the eating place. You say, good. They take up their time. That's what perhaps have. You could be honest. I don't want you to do it. But if I can remembering what vehicle to occupy, they were as not lower. Now it's true. And you might have learned, follow what we or some learned what your vehicles were learning, been able to go much those, you know, they offsprings and there's children, their outlook. Your vehicle and world were pretty things. They got cycles and the came next level of over the time of getting your awakening and really sense the human, you know, psychiatrists or examinings, for example, was early 70s, instead were, you know, critics now, and they were, well, I'm afraid it's your fault for the most part, begin to away all of the plus they were a dose actively causing you were responding to it. Now, what's different, completely, same dose as you of your need, even though dictate from this. Much that concerns now conduct, features, refinings in the craft, sharpen things up in your.
The question is, you know, I only send it through the phone on that screen.
it depends upon looking for it comes automatically. This is the way I the answer is will only benefit our solution. Ones who are unless they're looking to whatever it is that
we looking for it, but if it would say that, but they understand that.
That kind of like had to be attuned over the.
A different illustration on that next level kind that you are also use that that if you and you know what we're saying. Oh, how making too much open just to say that when you send out and that those who are looking for who right around, but it's there. Those who technically we don't really work trying to figure.
We meant it to be in the ether to then.
Things that pop up, new advancements, use that illustration thought or you deposit them to dissipate. Exactly the same thing in signals. It actually something Everything from your that gives a strong signal.
Not have any. Do all of you have long ones?
Funny thing is, getting signals or of an outburst, it's almost from those who are from, and it's the two that they don't have to know, might feel it. So what I was saying, because a lot of them don't know, been trained to think, and so it's never a thought in there, change their way, feel like other way, or feeling it, or how do I respond to this period of weakness. It's one of the primitives is the treat the criminal. And Margaret Thatcher's killed and dead is so primitive, and they got to get those behind bars, those who would absolutely sure anything like that. In our way at this time should have to know that no, if they weren't, that they label it psychological in a sickness. And supposedly, just who, according to their ill, throw them in there, they never get out, right? Come up and come on. And as the other thing is, the ones who out there, others, that a lot of skeletons of actions that are very, and why they went of actions that, and be want to be, if someone brain, you go throw stupid, that
thing that they can jail would be to bring best opportunity. Small areas, these take correct their habits. The best way to retrain, to understand how to hate, and to be handle things. On while they're sleeping, for the speakers to accept it, be accepted.
There's got to be that there's something by that I won't be thrown back. You thinking that way is way off. Thought. If their chemistry wouldn't think of her stealing.
Well, it started.
Patients back.
Just to idea.
Active audience. The real
And then I'd like a little fall. In other words, another understanding that you can strike a witness you and talk, and it causes you where I'm from.
That was understood for them.
I would think it was.
Has to be the is there
Now,
an action still?
how you handle, going back to what Legato just told, he told that is sometimes you about something. Now, these little things you need because what it is. Newspaper, the other called this little, and this woman out of she was on a piece, another one, and said, another in her mind, everything you put it, do count, links, or link station, or what is a review where you have to, you want to do is have a book. They're putting it down in the right.
When T was talking, let's signal, not aware of it. Signal of something that's, and what's in the class issue of that signal, because signal. To you, and you didn't even, you see what you, the higher standards you were, even know that you were given of a to because you had time to see that. It sure makes sense to me. It links hers in you. At that moment coming to you, of an area doing your homework. Before, it isn't even an area that needs, but as you have, then it's that. Like pretty strong, so important that you do know what it turned it into. Don't take it as a negative past. Don't see in it, and for the less you don't, you haven't back to this.
In other words, you will be, if you don't.
If you can't translate, let's say this, and your parents just doesn't know all of it. If they knew all of it, deserve, I know to defend myself because I need to defend all the facts there, but one way on your because you are to into a positive, so that and you to see it for what it was had you see it and not doing it. See it for what it is, you to the fact that there seems, okay, it's a change. Then you're pretty greater.
Another way, all the facts who might say, we're using writing as you kind of had a feel just to make, and then try to find out, or if you go to find out more is not the right way to do your homework. To have another feel that you in the wrong comfortable in the see things. Understand that? Then that you go because what are you doing when you do that?
Level mind come in lower translation.
You become and lofty and control. The reason working about his feeling is make you aware these little things trying to set them. Does that make sense? Since you're not aware of nothing, right? For every little reaction, little thing that causes them, he and the doorman are just you want to only way to do it. Strength will be, now each younger and you can better. Because, and we today, we do better before. And only you, we know something.
I want to correct an addendum and the necessity of ever accepting that when the suffering is all of it, and don't just stay waiting. It's natural, it told me, that and let it linger for positive. Have no responsibility sometimes when I images of suicide. Sometimes that I said, if I could just I'm serious. And when you're dealing, if I could just end it, and that kind of weak could act upon it. All of what weak vehicle thoughts that you just could only get rid of. I could only, how long do I have to? When those thoughts homework, you follow that way. If this is effect of this task, have to same way the kind of thoughts pick up and receive strength. How what we're saying, and I don't have to deal with weak. Even though we know that we're being hit with task to turn, not kind absorb what we're saying. Kinds of thought I mentioned a few minutes too. I want to be responsible. Do you follow?
I've been thinking incorrectly. Would be something we'd read time to time that it's unrecognized ever.
Well, but it could be an article wasn't triggered capsule. Those will deteriorate. Of course, in spite of everything, refuse to accept. We accept that. When things that we have not. The generations, things didn't hit them until recent maturity. That's the things that you know them well. Turn them quickly, make it destructive, and cause you more. The best job you do your homework quickly, the effort behind this. 22 than am I at all, or I wouldn't have, because the different task that Brenda she's connected with, negatives of the things and the things that this review, and how can I recognize positive as unique tools and as vehicular. It's just not. It's more emotional. The things that connect. Okay, one another is any different.